You'd think dinosaurs and their ancient friends were long gone, but surprise, some prehistoric creatures never got the hint. These tough survivors have been hanging around on our planet for hundreds of millions of years, skipping extinction and dodging evolution like champs. They've powered through ice ages, asteroid strikes, and even modern fashion trends without batting an eye. Well, they're not exact dinosaur replicas, but they're ancient enough to wear the badge of living fossils. These animals said, "No thanks," to change and decided to keep living their prehistoric lives. Here are the 15 prehistoric creatures that still exist today in today's trade war world. Let's start off with number 15, Chinese giant salamander. Jurassic Park may be a fantastical story, but there actually are animals from that time period that still roam the earth today. The thing, estimated to date back some 170 million years, is one of them. It also happens to be the largest amphibian on the planet, reaching lengths of up to 6 feet and tipping the scales at over 100 pounds. Once common across cold, fast-flowing streams in the Chinese mountains, this ancient creature has nearly vanished from the wild. Poaching for its meat and use in traditional medicine have devastated its population. Once widespread, now it's critically endangered. But it's not entirely gone. One of the most remarkable individuals, named Carlo, lives at the Prague Zoo, weighing over 77 pounds. Carlo serves as both a living fossil and a sobering reminder of how quickly a species can disappear. His continued survival offers hope, if not for repopulating the wild, then at least for preserving a lineage older than most mountains. Number 14, Shoebill stork. Well, no one's on Earth quite sure how the shoebill stork fits into the bird family tree. Some say it's related to herons, others think it's closer to pelicans, but honestly, it looks like it was designed by someone who's never seen a bird before. With a face like a dinosaur and a beak the size of a shoe, it's more unsettling than elegant. And that's exactly why it's unforgettable. The shoebill doesn't flap around or chirp like your average bird. It waits, still as stone, watching. Then, in one devastating snap, it devours lungfish or baby crocodiles without breaking focus. This eerie quietness only adds to its ancient vibe. You'll find these rare birds in the wetlands of Central and Eastern Africa, especially Uganda's Mabamba Bay. But don't expect a crowd. This bird is vulnerable and disappearing fast due to habitat loss and human intrusion. Spotting one in the reeds feels like you've stumbled into a forgotten world where time simply stopped. Number 13, Echidna. These amazing and bizarre creatures look like a fusion between a porcupine, an anteater, and something from a science fiction sketchbook. We mean, just look at this, but what really sets them apart is their biology. They're monotremes, primitive mammals that lay eggs, one of only 2 kinds on Earth, their cousin being the platypus. That alone places them in a category so rare that it feels almost mythical. They don't make themselves easy to find, either. Echidnas live solitary, spaced-out lives, are mostly nocturnal, and prefer to keep their business off the radar. Several species are also critically endangered, which makes their 17-million-year run on this planet even more fragile. To see one in person, you'll want to head to Australia, New Zealand, or Tasmania, where a few wildlife sanctuaries offer protected homes for them. Boonwurrung Wildlife Sanctuary, the Australia Zoo, and the Taronga Zoo each give you a rare chance to get close to a species that decided evolution peaked millions of years ago and stayed that way. Number 12, Babirusa. Babirusa are just like your everyday slightly irritable pig, except for the massive curling tusks that explode from their snouts like something out of a fantasy novel. The upper canines pierce right through the top of the snout, curving backward toward the skull. If they're left unchecked, they can actually penetrate the animal's own forehead. The lower tusks curve upward too, giving the entire creature a bizarre, orc-like presence in the wild. These cuties aren't just weird-looking, they're ancient. Babirusa have roamed the Indonesian islands for thousands of years, and even appear in cave paintings dating back some 35,000 years. Unfortunately, habitat loss and hunting have landed them on the conservation watch list. Today, Babirusa can still be found in the forests of Sulawesi and nearby islands, particularly in areas like Nantu Forest and Tangkoko Nature Reserve. Tour operators in the region offer specialized wildlife safaris, where you might catch a glimpse of this strange prehistoric relic grunting through the underbrush, tusks catching the light. Number 11. Chambered nautilus. Well, they look strange. The chambered nautilus normally lives in the deep sea around Australia and Indonesia, staying far from surface-level curiosity. However, one of the rare places you can see them without diving into the abyss is at the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California, where a few of these ancient marvels live in curated darkness. With their tightly coiled shells and staring, lidless eyes, they look like sea creatures dreamt up in myth, yet they're real and far older than most life forms on Earth. Fossils dating back 500 million years match the living nautiluses almost exactly. They've outlived mass extinctions and continental shifts by simply staying what they are. They don't breed easily in captivity, which makes conservation all the more urgent. In 2018, Monterey's research team managed to break through the first successful breeding of baby nautiluses in a lab setting. It's a small win in the effort to preserve a creature that seems less like an animal and more like a living spiral from Earth's ancient memory. Now, let's head over to Number D's, Komodo dragon. You can find Komodo dragons in Indonesia today, but that might not be where these iconic lizards got their start. Fossils tell a different story. Ancient Komodos once roamed Australia nearly 4 million years ago, and they haven't changed much since. Today, they patrol the hot, dry terrain of Komodo, Rinca, and a few other Indonesian islands with slow, menacing grace. These aren't just large reptiles, they're walking tanks, stretching over 10 feet long, with serrated teeth and venom glands that trigger internal bleeding. A Komodo doesn't chase its prey, it wounds it, follows it, and waits for it to collapse. And yes, they've gone after humans too. Tourists still flock to see them in Komodo National Park, often forgetting that this isn't a petting zoo, it's a living, breathing throwback to a time when reptiles ruled the land. These lizards didn't evolve much because they didn't have to. Sometimes survival is just about staying mean, silent, and old school. Number 9. Whale shark. Well, the name whale shark is a bit misleading. This beautiful animal is not a whale at all. In fact, it's the largest shark and the largest fish alive today. Measuring up to 40 feet long, these slow-moving giants have been gliding through tropical oceans for at least 28 million years without changing much. They drift near the surface, filter feeding on plankton and tiny fish with mouths wide enough to swallow a grown person, though they never would. Despite their massive size, whale sharks are harmless to humans. They're gentle, graceful, and rarely aggressive. But their endangered status has made them increasingly difficult to encounter in the wild. One of the only places where you can reliably observe them is the Georgia Aquarium in Atlanta. It's home to a small group of these giants in a massive tank designed to mimic open ocean conditions. For the adventurous, the aquarium also offers a chance to swim beside them, an awe-inspiring experience with one of the ocean's oldest survivors. Number 8. Cassowary. Cassowaries are about the closest looking thing we have to a Jurassic Park. Velociraptor. Towering, vivid, and built like tanks, these bipedal birds come armed with more than just attitude. A thick, helmet-like casque rises from their heads, while a single claw on each foot curves like a blade, sharp enough to split through brush or, in rare cases, a human leg. They've attacked before, occasionally, fatally. As members of the ratite family, giant flightless birds, cassowaries trace their roots back nearly 60 million years. They're remnants of an ancient world that still echo through the rainforests of northern Queensland and Papua New Guinea. Despite their size, cassowaries are elusive, moving with eerie silence through dense forests. The best chance to see one is deep within Australia's Cape Tribulation, Daintree, or Mission Beach regions, where guided tours offer a respectful, non-invasive glimpse into their realm. Stay quiet, stay distant, and never offer food. In their world, you're the guest, and one wrong move could cut the visit short. Number 7. Wobbegong shark. If you're not looking carefully while exploring coral reefs in the Pacific, you might swim right past a wobbegong shark. These bottom-dwelling predators are masters of disguise. Blending into algae-covered rocks with bodies so flat and frilly, they look more like carpets than fish. But the moment they glide into motion, revealing pale bellies and hidden jaws, the illusion ends. There's no mistaking a wobbegong on the move. They've been lurking on the ocean floor since the Miocene epoch, a lineage stretching back around 11 million years. Today, several species still inhabit warm reef waters near Australia and Southeast Asia. While generally harmless, wobbegongs can bite if disturbed. Most attacks happen when divers or swimmers get too close without realizing what's underfoot. Your best chance to see one without braving open waters is at the Sydney Aquarium, where a few reside in a massive tank simulating their natural environment. Some diving tours even offer shark swims with wobbegongs. No prior diving experience is needed. Number 6. Horseshoe crab. Horseshoe crabs are one of the oldest species on Earth, having held their form steady since the Ordovician period nearly 445 million years ago. At that time, the planet was home to one giant supercontinent called Gondwanaland, and these strange, helmet-shaped creatures patrolled the shorelines without competition. They've barely changed since. Today, they still emerge en masse each May along Delaware Bay's beaches, where millions return to spawn under the full moon. Their synchronized breeding draws not only scientists but also thousands of migrating shorebirds, including the red knot and ruddy turnstone, which feed on the crab eggs to refuel during their own ancient journey north. Despite their resilience, horseshoe crabs are now under pressure from coastal development and overharvesting, especially for their blue blood, which plays a vital role in modern medicine. Watching them crawl slowly through the surf, you're witnessing a ritual that has played out for almost 500 million years, an ancient pulse still beating in a fast-moving world. Number 5. Gharial. All crocodiles, caimans, and alligators are ancient reptiles, and they definitely look the part. But if there were a pageant for the most prehistoric-looking crocodilian, the gharial would walk away with the crown. With its long, razor-thin snout bristling with sharp, needle-like teeth, it looks like it time-traveled straight out of the Cretaceous. Males take it a step further with a comically large bulb on the end of their snout, giving them a bizarre yet oddly charming appearance. Gharials, or at least their ancestors, have existed for tens of millions of years. Sadly, the modern gharial is the last surviving member of its lineage, and it's teetering on the edge of extinction. Fewer than 200 breeding individuals remain across parts of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. The IUCN has officially labeled them critically endangered. Thankfully, the Gharial Breeding Center in Lucknow, India, is doing vital work, raising and rehoming gharials across the globe. You can even visit the center yourself or spot wild ones in Nepal's Chitwan and Bardia national parks. Number 4. Alligator gar. The freshwater alligator gar is another fish that you definitely do not want to find yourself staring at while swimming in the southern U.S. With a snout shaped like an alligator's and a mouth full of razor teeth, this ancient predator gives off serious Jurassic vibes. Yet despite its fearsome appearance, the gar isn't a threat to humans, at least not one it's ever chosen to act on. Fossil evidence shows this species has been around for over 100 million years, surviving extinction events and climate shifts by doing what it does best. Lurking in the shadows, these fish can grow up to 10 feet long and weigh 300 pounds, spending their days motionless beneath the surface, waiting to ambush prey. One of the best places to see one safely, especially the rare albino variety, is at the Tennessee Aquarium. There, the alligator gar glides slowly through its enclosure, every movement a reminder that some apex predators don't need to evolve, they just need to endure. Number 3. Musk oxen. Musk oxen can be quite a sight and smell to behold, especially during the rutting season when bull oxen go head-to-head, literally. They charge at full force, slamming into each other with the kind of impact that can be felt from a distance. It's an ancient ritual, unchanged for over 100,000 years. They've been part of Arctic life for somewhere between 129,000 and 187,000 years, but even they couldn't outrun human interference. Musk oxen were wiped out in Alaska during the 1800s, only to be reintroduced in the 1930s. They've held on since then, but numbers have been dipping again. Nome, Alaska remains one of the best places to see them in the wild. The area's remote tundra is where they thrive, often wandering near the town like they own the land, which in a way they do. While there, check out local kiwi-it vendors. This rare, ultra-soft underwool collected from wild musk oxen is warmer than cashmere and far more ancient. Numbered does. Vicuña. Speaking of luxury wool, another prehistoric creature known for its unique fiber is the vicuña, the ancestor of the modern alpaca. Smaller and more slender, vicuña stand apart with their graceful build, white underbellies, and warm cinnamon-colored backs. The Incas once protected them fiercely, believing only royalty deserved to wear their wool. After the empire collapsed, that protection vanished. Poaching drove vicuñas to the edge of extinction, but thanks to conservation efforts and strict protections, they've made a remarkable comeback. Today they number in the hundreds of thousands across the Andean highlands, where they still roam free under open skies. For a proper encounter, head to Huascarán National Park in Peru. This surreal landscape, part of the world's highest tropical mountain range, is home not only to vicuñas, but also to spectacled bears, soaring Andean condors, and rare flora like the towering Queen of the Andes. If there are words to describe this beauty, it would be truly spectacular. Number 1. Bactrian camel. You already know about the one-humped camels that still trek across the east, but before them came the OG desert nomad, the Bactrian camel. This two-humped legend has survived brutal conditions for over 2 million years. Think of it as nature's tank, built to handle sub-zero winters and oven-like summers without breaking stride. Its humps don't store water like most people think. They hold fat, a survival stash that can be broken down into energy and hydration when food disappears. That adaptation helped the Bactrian camel endure thousands of miles of desolation across Mongolia and China's Gobi Desert. In the wild, this species is nearly gone. Less than 1,000 remain. But in the cultural heart of Mongolia, they still thrive as domesticated icons. Locals ride them, race them, and celebrate them every March at the Thousand Camels Festival. If resilience had a mascot, it would have 2 humps, shaggy fur, and the same attitude it had in the Ice Age. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you very soon.